Hello everybody, my name is Zizan and I'll be casting your Splendid Gaming versus Infernal Dong Lords. This is of course AD2L, Amateur Dota 2 League, as I'm sure you will know. So as I said, it's Splendid Gaming versus Infernal Dong Lords. The bans so far, we've got a Death Prophet and a Nature's Prophet from Splendid Gaming, and of course Infernal Dong Lords are going to ban out Invoker here. Looks like Splendid Gaming are a little bit scared of a push strat coming out here from the Dong Lords here. The Death Prophet and the Nature's Prophet, both very, very good pushers and kind of pushers as well. Visage banned out as well. That's going to be one of the stronger supports, one of the bigger nuclear supports. A big favourite in the current meta. And speaking of big favourites, here is a Crystal Maiden pick as well. Very strong in laning phase. Tails off a little bit towards the end of the game, but still a very, very good pickup. The Arcane Aura is a huge boost to a lot of the team. So that is a nice pickup. I do like that. Opa Crystal feeding.
To go.
Okay. I hope the stream quality is okay. I haven't actually checked it too much yet. Okay, I think that should be okay. Okay, it looks like Infernal picked up a Sand King as well, so that looks like it's probably going to be quite an aggressive play. It'll be interesting to see if they go for the Jungle Sand King for the fast Blink Dagger, or if they will use him in a support role.
10 seconds to go.
It's very, very common now to see the Sandstorm used in jungling capacity now, because it's got the universal
time.
Sorry, the Sandstorm radius doesn't scale anymore. Timbersaws picks up there for Infernal. That is going to be their offlane heroes. A pretty early offlane pickup, but I am definitely in favour of picking up the offlanes early, because they tend to get banned out in the first and second phase of bans. So it's worth picking up someone early, and Timbersaw is pretty hard to counter, so he's a pretty safe choice for something this early in the game. Just going to wait out in Splendid last pickup here. And I am casting alone tonight. It seems everyone is busy tonight, so you're just going to be listening to me. Okay, next pickup here is a Nyx. That is a very good pickup again. A good aggressive support, and also offlane, and he's pretty versatile in the mid game as well. You can get a lot of pickups and some really good initiations. I think it's Kurok or Kuroki that's Nyx assassin. That's one of the best players for him. This is the ban phase now again. We've banned out a Magnus here from Splendid. Magnus seems to have fallen off a little bit in the current meta. I think there's probably not much of a need to ban out a Magnus. He seems a bit of a pocket pick, really, but I suppose Magnus RP into the epicenter could be quite nasty. And of course here comes the Luna ban, the most overpowered carry in the current meta. She's kind of like Gyrocopter, but she doesn't have a cooldown on her flat cannon, effectively. With the glaives you can clear out ancient stacks very, very easily.
10 seconds
if you're on the ball
to go.
And using your Helm of the Dominator effectively.
5
I think
seconds.
Splendid probably want to... I think they were correct, sort of correct, I guess, with the Magnus. Maybe not the Magnus, but I think they should be banning out some of the stronger mid heroes. And the Invoker's already banned out. Viper, good mid hero, good roamer and ganker as well. So that's a pretty good ban. I'd like to see maybe...
Radiance pick.
I don't know, it's difficult to say. They're actually going to pick up a Morana here, so I think the Bane ban is kind of required, but I don't think they're going to... of course, they do have the picks here. They are going to have 2 straight picks, so they might actually have to pick this up themselves to avoid that Morana-Bane combo, which is pretty ridiculous at the moment. It's basically a free 4-second stun plus the nightmare damage as well. It is pretty nasty, especially in the early game. Late game, the team fights, when people start going as Romans 5 and things like that, it gets a little bit more difficult to pull off, but still worth. Morana can also mid as well, so that's something to bear in mind if they do need that for a pocket pick. It's good. And they're going to go for Doom, so I can cover this at both safe lane and their mid rolls should they decide to do it. Blitz on Team Zephyr is a big fan of Doom mid. I quite like it, I guess, but I do feel that you are kind of forced into getting a blink if you go mid Doom. You're not going to be getting really the same amount of farm that you would in any other role, because you're going to have to be You have to be roaming,
10
ganking quite a lot, so you get
seconds
a
to
Blinking
go.
Centaur, Conqueror, Stomp, and that you can be pretty
5
effective, but I think there's
seconds.
better choices than Doom from mid, but I don't know. Safe Carrier offlane Doom, he's pretty
Reserve
versatile actually, you can
time.
run him anywhere. And he can still survive once he starts getting a bit of armor on him, a bit more tanky. So Infernal are into the reserve time here as well. I think they're probably going to be wanting to pick up their mid here if they're not going to run the Mirana mid, and see how that goes. Perhaps a Dragon Knight wouldn't be a bad pick. I think they are running quite a melee heavy line, so they probably could go for something like a Puck. Maybe that would be pretty good against the Nyx Crystal Maiden and the Doom. The Puck is quite susceptible to the Nyx Assassin herself. If he does decide to go on a more aggressive build with the Vendetta, and of course maybe a Dagon as well. Never something to completely count out. I do prefer the Blink Nyx though for initiation, and I think that is going to be what he's going to be used as. And they're actually going to go for Slark. Fantastic pickup here. Very good in mid and the safe lane. So I'd probably lean towards the Mirana going mid and the Slark in the safe lane, but I'm not quite sure. They are both quite useful heroes in both roles. We can also go, well, they're not going to go offlane Slark because we've got Timbersaw, but that is possible. Could go Timbersaw mid, and we've got quite a lot of options here in their draft so far. A lot of them are quite farm dependent. Well, Timbersaw is, Mana is, Slark is, Sand King to a much lesser extent. After you get a Blink Dagger, it's just everything else is gravy. But they could do them with a really hard support. The Bane is still not banned out. I think maybe the Bane pickup might have been a good idea. Other option is a Silencer wouldn't be too bad, I guess. But we're quite mana heavy with the amount of what they use. So with the exception of Spike Carapace, of course, you can maybe drain them and do quite a lot of harass with a Silencer, but it's going to be a very defensive. We actually have a disconnect here for AD2L. Hopefully that can be resolved. We did have some issues with lag, sorry, not lag, the Dota 2 network going down. And wow, that's a Juggernaut pick. Yeah, I quite like the Juggernaut pick. This is going to be quite good. It's going to give him quite a lot of early pushing power as well. He probably their safe lane role as well. He's fantastic.
10
well, you can get
seconds to go.
Really well, especially if you get an Aghanim Scepter. If he's going for a less sort of late game carry build, then the Omni Slash is very good with the Aghanims. It's not really used that much in the pro scene, but it is still pretty good, I would say, in my humble opinion. Okay, I hope the stream quality is okay. If you just let me know in the chat to make sure that it is okay. Obviously, you'll not be able to tell until we get into it properly. I apologise, I do have kind of garbage internet if you are watching on Twitch. Just gonna... Nope, that is not right. Not right at all. Hold on a second, I'm just going to make sure that I've got my camera speed set correctly. There we go. So I'm not zooming around the map. Okay, so the final ban out here from Infernal is going to be an Earthshaker. Earthshaker, well, yeah, it's probably going to be one of the
10 seconds to go.
Farming roles, I would say, that they're going to be needing. So an Earthshaker would be a pretty effective hero. I mean, you're not going to be able to catch out the Timbersaw or anything like that with the Fissure, or the Slark actually. So I think that might actually be a little bit of a mistake. The Earthshaker seems like it would be a little bit of a wasted pick. There's a lot of ways. They've already got a lot of ways to counter that as it is. So I don't know. In the reserve time here for Splendid, as I said, the last pickup. It's difficult to say what they're going to go for because they have offlane choices in both the Nyx and the Doom. It's hard to say at this stage. We shall see. And Infernal have gone for a Centaur, another farm-heavy, farm-dependent hero, or reasonably farm-dependent anyway, until you can get up the blink and things like that. So, I think if they can get the farm that they needs and maybe a good bit of early aggression, they have plenty of early aggression they can take advantage of. If they can get that, then I think it might go their way. But I think if it goes late, I think Splendid have this. in the bag. Doom's pretty scary late game carry, Juggernaut the same. Nyx can get pretty out of control fairly easily,
10
so
seconds to go.
interesting to be able to get for this last pickup here.
5 seconds.
It's difficult to say. I think they need an offlaner, maybe a bristleback or something
Reserve
like that. Bristleback
time.
would be fairly good, I would say. I would stop from running a lot of the damage from running away. Morana, and obviously the quills in chasing situations are pretty scary. Minus armor wouldn't do the baddies either. That'd be pretty nice. Bristleback, one of my favourite offlanes, I would have to say. He's fantastic. I do like him a lot. And they're actually running out of their reserve time here. They've only got about 10 seconds left.
10.
So we're going to have to see how that goes.
5
seconds now. And the final pickup is actually a Razor. So it's fairly greedy lineups from both teams here. It'll be interesting to see who gets the better, but as that'll further compound their Splendid late game advantage, I would say. I mean, obviously Slark and Morana are pretty good. Timbersaw to a slightly lesser extent. But if it goes really late, it is definitely Splendid's game to lose. But Infernal, more early game aggression, so it's really going to be a case of that, I think. Although there are always some upsets. I apologise, I haven't actually watched either of these teams in a long time. I've seen Splendid play before, but I can't remember exactly which roles they play, so we'll see how that's going to work out. I think probably Razor offlane, it could mid, of course. Again, it's difficult to say with the draft. I think it's probably going to be
10 seconds to
right,
go.
Okay, so we will do some quick introductions here. On the side of AD2L, we have Kranar on the Slark.
This
We've
should
got
be
Spooky on the
interesting.
Centaur Warrunner. We've got Koros on the Sand King, Kenzie on the Timbersaw, and Nez on the Morana. And on the side of SPLD, we have Dream on the Jug. We have Elusively Volatile on the Razor. On the Crystal Maiden, we have MMR is so overrated, I believe. And on the Doom here, we have Looney. And finally, on the Nyx Assassin, we have A Link to the Past. Okay. Looks like it is actually going to be. It looks like an aggressive tri-lane actually on the bottom coming out here, and they're going to leave that Doom safe solo in the top. So that should be okay. Should be not too bad.
Battle will commence in
Yeah, that'll
30
allow him
seconds.
nice easy access to the jungle to get that get the Devourer and get the nice creeps that he does need. Timbersaw's just setting up here, and he is going to be facing off against a solo Doom, so it's actually going to be okay. I think this is probably going to be fine, but it is tri-lane on tri-lane, and it is a lot of stuns coming out from the side of AD2L as well. With that arrow and the Burrow Strike and the Stomp, it's going to be a battle of the stuns really, and they are one stun short on the side of SPLD. Splendid rather. What am I doing? Okay, and mid is going to be Slark. I'll get up the items to start off with and just see if there's anything completely out of the ordinary. Everything seems fairly standard. It looks like Infernal are going pretty heavy on the stout shields here. Expecting quite a lot of early aggression. Good bit of pulled tangos there as well. And the Slark is going to be, of course, facing up against that Razor there. The Nyx Assassin is just floating around down here just to see if he can maybe get a pick off or something like that, or maybe defend off from some backdooring here. It's a little bit early to expect some backdooring. Crystal Maiden starting off, of course, with the Frostbite. It's the best skill to get on Crystal Maiden level 1, I would say. And of course, Juggernaut going for the Magic Immunity. That might actually swing this lane if he can get that off before the stuns come out. Then he should be okay, to be honest. Up here in the top, we shall see. We'll get up the last hits denies here as well. Looks like Slark's doing pretty good, sitting on 4-3, and everyone else has not got much at the moment. Of course, these are amateur games, so I'm still expecting some pretty good play here. Looks like Sentry Ward's here to try and block out this camp, but it is already stacked, so that's actually going to be able to get pulled right now. And the Nyx Assassin is going to be able to sap the experience off this one as well, so that's not going to be too bad for him. I can maybe go for some last hits, but that is a waste of Impale. And I wouldn't be wanting to go in there either one. Looks like a little bit of aggression coming out here. The Sand King is going to escape here with not really any damage, just a tiny little right click there from the Crystal Maiden. Nothing to worry about at all. Crystal Maiden just sneaking around the back here. Looks like they're going to try and contest this pool a little bit here. Mirana's getting pretty low. If Crystal Maiden had been in a slightly more aggressive position, maybe we would have got a Frostbite off, and then they would have been able to maybe do something about it. Like last hits at the moment, it looks like Slark sitting at 7-4 at the moment, and 6-2 on the Centaur. It looks like ID Infernal are doing a lot better in terms of farm at this stage. A lot of posturing going on in this bottom lane. I really don't want to lose it because I will miss First Blood. I always miss First Blood, and I apologise completely in advance. It is the caster's curse, I'm afraid. You always miss First Blood. Okay, Ara comes flying. It does whiff, unfortunately, so that's going to be no real initiation there. Mirana throwing a quick little Ara there, and the Crystal Maiden is going to go down here, it looks like. Battlefield and the Juggernaut spinning away, trying to get a wee kill there, but nothing's going to go out of it at all. Nick's dropping fairly low as well. So that's not great. I did drop the Crystal Maiden first. Crystal Maiden is very, very squishy in the laning phase, especially when you're going such a regen and support item heavy build. No branches or anything, so it's 473 health. Not very much at all, and only 1 armor. So that's not going to help you very much at all. Looks like Slark is fairly dominating this Razor mids. I don't think he really should, to be honest, especially this early on. He's not going to be getting stacks of S and shift very easily, and the Razor, of course, can just stack link him if he gets into melee range. So any leaps, he should be okay, to be honest, provided he's got mana for that static link, but it is a very cheap spell, of course. Up the top here, it looks like the Timbersaw is doing pretty decently against the Doom here. The Doom's not really lasting very well. He's not actually devoured any jungle creeps at the moment. I think that is a big waste. He probably should be going in here. If we have a look over here, let me see what we've got. We actually have a Satyr. If you get the Mind Stealer, the Mana Burn might actually be quite useful against the Timbersaw. They just spotted this Crystal Maiden here, and it looks like the arrow is going to fly. It's going to catch Crystal Maiden here, but is there going to be any follow-up? No more mana for a Starstorm here. Unfortunately, the Frostbite comes out, and it looks like they are going to be able to do something. Juggernaut a little bit too slow because he has no boots at this stage. It is 4 minutes in. You would expect to have at least something on there, and it looks like they are actually going to catch some Mirana here. She does drop a salve, and good aggression there from the Sand King, coming in and picking up the Crystal Maiden on the back line there. And Nick Assassin throwing in a stun on the Mirana, but it's not going to be quite enough. The Sand King is going to lose a lot of damage here. The static link, of course, not being broken by Invis. But, of course, they can. Oh, not enough mana for the Blade for here. That's unfortunate. Not going to be able to do a huge amount of damage here. And he can just sit there all day until he runs out of mana, of course, which is going to be fairly shortly. The Slark coming in here in quite an aggressive position. The Sand King, of course, does not have enough mana for a stun, and the Razor has a lot of damage here at his disposal, and they are going to pick up the Sand King with a very nice plasma field there from the Razor. Well played. So yes, I think at the moment AD2L are really pulling ahead so far. As I said earlier, their early aggression is really paying off. So many stuns and so many squishies on Splendid's side, unfortunately. Sand King blinking, come back into lane here. And it looks like the Centaur's actually farming it pretty well at the moment. He's sitting on 21. If you have a look over the left here at the last hits and denies, it's really telling the story of this game so far. I mean, they're getting the kills, they're getting the last hits. And they're also getting the dives in the Timbersaw. That's really going to hurt the Doom as well. Putting him up there, you expect him to get a lot of levels, but as you can see, the Timbersaw is level 7 compared to the Doom's level 5. Really quite scary. He did die, of course. The Doom did die once. I actually missed that one. So, Chakra coming out here. The Doom looks like he's getting pretty low. He's in quite a bad spot here. The Timber Change is going to come out here very shortly. And Timber Change should be able to get it. Whirling Death comes out, and that is going to be a dead Doom.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
It is really all falling apart for Splendid here. But you never know, they could hold out long enough that they could come back into this. But they're not making really good use of the farm. They're going to spot out this aggressive movement here from the Sand King and Nizzle and Mirana. So, and the arrow comes out here. Is this going to catch him? Nope, it's going to just hit a creep there. Juggernaut's sitting quite aggressive here, and he really should be. He should be focusing on farm and getting levels. The earlier you, of course, get your Omni Slash, the better. And it looks like Crystal Maiden is in a really bad spot here. It does unfortunately whiff the stomp there on the Centaur Warrunner. He is getting very out of position here, this Juggernaut. As soon as he comes out of this, he is going to get stunned.
Bad news for you.
Oh, there we go. Do actually manage to not quite get the Sand King. The Impale is still on cooldown for 8 more seconds, so that is not going to be ideal. So they're not actually going to be able to trade here. Oh, one more right click and that would be him down. He's got 30 health left. And it looks like Juggernaut is going to go and man up on this one. He might pay for it, actually. He actually did drop quite a lot of damage there. So that's less than ideal. Double damage Slark coming in here. Oh, misses the leap. Unfortunately, not catching it onto the Juggernaut. But I think the Juggernaut is still going to die there. Oh, not quite, not quite, not quite. Slark is going to man up and dive this one. The stack link is going to drain quite a lot of his damage here. The Essence Shift is not going to be quite enough here. The Razor is dropping very, very low here. The Mirana is going to die for it, unfortunately. The Slark, very nice play there. Managing to get out as well. That is what Slark is good at, of course. Drinking up his bottle there to get a little bit more mana as well. And yeah, he should be doing okay. So he should actually be able to look at this Crystal Maiden if he decides to dive on this one. Being careful with his leaps so that he doesn't get juked. And then can of course use it to escape as well. Jumps over the trees, nicely played. Not going for the easy damage and locked down the pounce. Knew fine and well that he would be able to get it on his own. No problem at all. So he's going to be able to get out just now. So he's sitting on 3-0 and he's got 29 last hits. He's doing very, very well for himself. Timbersaw is also doing very well for himself, sitting on 2-0 with 40 last hits. And 40 last hits, that's actually more than the entirety of Splendid have at the moment. So it's not great. Juggernaut sitting down here alone. There is a Mirana here. He is wisely sitting slightly to the right of the creep wave. I say that, but there you go. He is sitting a little bit over there. Next Assassin is very underleveled. He's level 2 compared to the Mirana's level 5, and the Centaur's level 6. The Stampede is going to do a lot there. And he has Mana Burn rather than Spike Carapace as well, so he's not even going to be able to Carapace off that arrow. If he had Carapace when the arrow flew, then he might have a chance, but unfortunately he doesn't at the moment. So that is unfortunate. Down the bottom here, the Slark has himself an invisibility rune. He's sitting on 700 gold. I'm just going to have a look at the net worth here, and you can really see the difference here. The Razor's actually doing okay. He's sitting on 2-1, but he's nowhere near the rest of the team. And I mean, the Doom, you would expect more gold in the Doom, especially when he's solo, when he's in a 1v1. But it is really just not happening for him. Still not devoured any useful creeps, and that is a massive waste. Go in the jungle, devour that, get some additional experience and gold that you wouldn't otherwise get. That is a big waste of Doom's abilities, just using it on lane creeps, definitely. As soon as there's a break, or if you push it slightly too far under the tower and you know you're not going to get last hits,
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Yes, I really cannot see Splendid coming back into this game at the moment. I'll just have a look at the gold graphs at the moment. It's saying 5k at 9 minutes in, so that's a huge, huge deficit. So yeah, it's not going to go well, and the experience is sitting about the same as well. Their tri-lane did not work well. I think probably putting the Nyx in the off lane, let him sap some experience, and then gank around the map, and then just leave an aggressive dual lane up the top with the Doom in the jungle. I think that would probably have been a better choice, to be honest. Razor seems a little bit of a waste when you could have had the an extra support and shoved the Doom mid. Of course, that is it's not the easiest one to go for. And there we go, there comes the Blink Initiate from the Centaur Warrunner with the leap coming in as well. The Slark has dropped his ult here. He's going to take quite a lot of damage, but he is going to be able to get out of here, no problem at all. Midnight Shadow coming out is going to save him quite nicely. Leaps out as well, breaks that static link. Nicely done. So that was another free kill on the Crystal Maiden, having a really rough game at the moment. Still no stats, just a magic stick. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse as that Slark gets more and more out of control. Sitting 0-5 and 2 at the moment. Really not ideal. Doom only sitting in the phase boots and the stout shield, and the Nyx buying boots from the main shop rather than the side shop. Maybe didn't think he would get down here in time. Top tower here, it looks like the Timbersaw is cutting creep wave here quite nicely, so that's going to let us creeps plenty of time to deal with that tower. He could, there's actually, yep, there's a semi-stacked camp. No, it's not. And he could maybe do with pulling in the creep wave down there and sort of pulling against himself, but it'll still be worth it. Centaur coming in here with an aggressive attack. Blink in there, and he is doomed, so I think he might actually go down here. These Razors picking off quite a lot of damage here, and he does throw out that pass from Purple Field, but it's not going to be quite enough. It looks like they are just too fed, and the Crystal Maiden is going to melt right now. She can try and run, throw a little bit of damage, but it is not going to be enough. And there we go, instant death. Slark is really playing very well this game. Very nice rotations coming out from a lot of great aggressive play. And as I said, the aggression is where they would win this game. But Splendid aren't taking advantage of where they could have won the game. Play a very safe tri-lane and try and out-farm them. If they'd out-farmed them, they might have had a chance. But at the moment, no. Bit TP rotation coming out here from the Razor on the Slark. Harassing a Slark is a bit pointless, to be honest, unless you've got Mana Burn. If you've got Mana Burn, definitely worth doing. And of course, Stackling just getting broken there by the leap, and it looks like he is in a bit of a bad spot. They are tanky enough now to dive onto these towers if they do need to. Bit of an over-rotation coming out here from the from Splendid, I think. Really going to try and push this, but Slark is just going to run away. He doesn't need to be there, and the rest of his team can just push bomb. They're going to get a free tower bomb with all these rotations, and then if they try and react, they'll get a free tower mid. It's kind of a lose-lose situation here for Splendid. That over-rotation was a little bit too much. And they did actually catch out the Slark there with a very nice sentry ward placement there by the Crystal Maiden. Nicely done. That sentry ward is pretty good. You're missing out on the high ground warding space there. But it is pretty good. You can catch out around about here and things like that. It's quite nice
Dire's
placement.
top tower is being attacked.
And again, they're just all sitting about mid. It seems like they've really just haven't caught their groove in this draft. Maybe they're drafting slightly heroes that they're not really used to, or they just got counterpicked. Playing against heroes they don't like. The Mirana especially just now, I mean, as you can see, the hitbox there on that Razor is really ridiculous, and the Razor just melts, and the Crystal Maiden just melts, and the Doom just melts. There we go. Timbersaw is doomed, but it's not going to be enough to kill him, I don't think. And the Mirana is there to deny him if need be anyway, so Doom's not going to get any farm that way.
Dire's middle tower
They are actually going to go and deny him, I think. Oh, we don't even need to. It seems the Timbersaw is able to survive there. The reactive armor, I think, enough to save him. That's not bad. Okay, we'll have a look at the items at the moment as we descend into what is probably the mid game, really, for
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Blink Dagger on the Centaur, that is ridiculous. He's got a chainmail, so it's probably going to be a blade mail. And the Sand King's got a Midas, actually. Haven't seen that for a while. The support's getting Midases is a little bit aggressive now, and it looks like the Slark diving a little bit too far, maybe getting a little bit overconfident, but I think he can escape this one. Another leap, and he is gone. And they're not going to be able to get this. So yeah, you did see this a little while ago once the, I think it was 6.79 or 6.78 when they increased the static gold per second. You could get it on Crystal Maiden and things like that very, very easily. 5-man Midasing was fairly legit at that point. Timbersaw looking fairly straightforward. He's going to go for his Bloodstone. He's going to have that very, very shortly. He just needs a Vitality booster. And Mirana, not much on her actually. They're just an Arcane Boots and a Magic Wand. Slark sitting on Drum's phase. He's running very, very fast now, of course.
Is under siege.
And you can see on the slash coming out there, but not managing to pick up the Slark there, just catching out some illusions, and that is going to be a very dead one. And the Crystal Maiden comes down here as well for a nice Burrow Strike from the Sand King, and he is on a dominating streak. Razor goes down there as well for a nice stun from, oh actually, Timbersaw. From Rana got it, fair enough. And Doom goes down as well. So, yeah, there's GG call. I am not surprised at that one. That is a fairly heavy stun. 21 and 4. Gold graphs, 12k in advantage of Infernal. So that's game 1 done. As I said, it was just the early aggression going on from them, and it is a big, big problem. And a little bit of complaining there. Didn't die, so it's fine. Okay, thanks very much. We will be back with game 2 very shortly, and stay with me.